right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, travel turbulence. The weather issues at the airport during one of the busiest travel weekends of the year.
I'm like, just please make sure I'm not stuck in Charlotte overnight.
We're wrapping up the holiday weekend with more rain showers and some isolated thunderstorms. Tonight, I'm tracking the upper level low that's lingering overhead.
Attorney General Eric Schmidt making demands to Mizzou professors.
This is just over the top.
How he's using his power to target journalists' emails.
Albert hits one a ton. Deep left. It is gone. 695.
Only 5 to go. We relive the amazing moment at Busch as Pujols chases 700. Good evening. I'm Brent Solomon in for Ann Allred and Mike Bush as they wrap up our MDA telethon. More on that in a moment. But first, we fought the rain all day today and more may be on the way. Jim Casillo joining us now. Jim, what can we expect over the holiday?
Yeah, hi Brent. So just as expected, this mid to upper level low that's just sitting right on the Mississippi River, spinning around, and with that, a front that moved through here, we have enough lift in the atmosphere to where we've seen those showers and some rumbles of thunder in some spots. So here it is on the radar satellite loop over the past 6 hours, and you can see that spiraling mass of showers and storms. Most of that has died down, but let's zoom in a little bit here. We're spotty in terms of showers on the Missouri side, west of the Mississippi, but east of the Mississippi, we'll zoom in more. I've seen a couple lightning strikes in the past, I'd say 30 minutes here. Troy to Highland to Trenton to O'Fallon in Illinois, and then further west from there, looks like Salem, Illinois, and also right around just north of Sandoval. So there are some isolated thunder showers, very heavy rain. Earlier today, we had some flash flood warnings even around Illinois. So we'll have much more on our forecast coming up and let you know when we finally get a break from the rain.
All right, Jim, stay close. Today's rain isn't helping those who are trying to get in their last summer getaways. According to AAA, 32% of Americans are planning to travel this holiday. 5 on your side's Elise Schoenig is live at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Elise, what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, Brent, well, earlier today, people were coming in and out of Lambert here with all sorts of different reasons to travel for the holiday weekend. But there was one thing they all shared. Everyone was checking this board, making sure their flights were on time and still on.
My flight got canceled or delayed quite a bit, and I would miss my connecting flight.
That's Kristen Callan.
Just this whole entire trip forward and back, I've had problems with flights.
The St. Louis native flew in and out of Lambert International, like many others, for the busy Labor Day holiday.
We're going to Florida for just family vacation.
While travel was seamless for families like the Taylors, travelers like Callan had to make new travel arrangements Sunday after her flight home was delayed.
I'm like, just please make sure I'm not stuck in Charlotte overnight.
But people who fly through American Airlines could continue to see changes at Lambert. According to our partners at the Business Journal, American announced this weekend it plans to cut 14.1% of its flights in and out of Lambert in December. The airline already announced it would cut about 29% of its flights in and out of Lambert in November. The Taylors are looking at the upside of all the chaos, traveling as a family.
It's a big blessing. You know, it's nice that things are finally getting back to a place where you can do that.
And Callan had her own reason to travel this weekend, making all the delays worth it.
It's been 24 years, but we've been dating for about a year now.
After reuniting with a former high school classmate for the first time in 24 years, she might be back in St. Louis for good after all.
We're going to consolidate and probably I'll move back here.
Yeah, and Callan told me that American Airlines did help her reschedule that flight home. Now, we do have a full list of resources and tips on our website, kstk.com, for any travel tips for any of you all this weekend, and if anybody hits some bumps in the road on your way to wherever it is you're going. Reporting live from St. Louis Lambert International, Elise Schoenig, 5 on your side.
All right, Elise, thank you. If you are hitting the road tomorrow, here are some things to remember when driving on wet roads. Be alert for high wind conditions. Experts say slow down, turn off cruise control, use your headlights and your hazard lights. If needed, brake slowly as well. Lastly, if there's flooding on the roads, remember to turn around. Don't drown. Make sure to download the 5 on Your Side app for weather updates. You can get up-to-date notifications sent straight to your phone. It's free to download on your phone's app store.
Chasing 700 is sponsored by CarShield.
All right, the whole town is buzzing. Albert Pujols moved closer to making baseball history today. Frank Cusimano is here now with much more. Frank.
Well, Brent, there were 46,000 people at Busch Stadium. Every one of them spent good money to be there. And they all wanted the same thing to happen. One thing, to see Albert Pujols move closer to history. And in the 8th inning, Albert Pujols delivered. Home run number 695 in his final at-bat ever against the Cubs. He said right before he came to the plate, he heard Rick Horton on the broadcast say, wouldn't it be great if Albert could homer in his final at-bat against the Cubs? And he did. Cards win it 2-0. We'll have much more on this incredible moment on Sports Plus. Back to you.
New tonight, Missouri's Attorney General is using his government office to target journalists' emails that are housed on universities' computer servers. Eric Schmidt's office actually ordered journalism professors to hand over their emails, which could include conversations with students, sources, and whistleblowers. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is here to break it all down. Mark.
Brent, journalists rely on the state's Sunshine Law all the time to get access to documents of significant public interest. And as the state's top lawyer, part of Eric Schmidt's job is to enforce the state's Sunshine Law to help journalists get those answers for the public. But now he's using his government office to track down emails from fact checkers at Mizzou.
I mean, it's very possible that he's looking to find out who the Missourian is talking to in terms of its sources of information.
In this email, Attorney General Eric Schmidt's office ordered 2 University of Missouri journalism professors and an executive editor at PolitiFact to hand over all emails in their inbox, ones they sent or received, that include keywords like fact-checking or political speech.
Anytime a reporter is asked to disclose anything about source information or advice they've been given, that puts the reporter in a difficult position. They want to protect that source from being harassed, or otherwise people won't talk to them.
Gene Manicky is an expert attorney who answers questions on a hotline for the Missouri Press Association.
I did get calls from a number of reporters at the Missourian concerned about what this might mean to them in terms of their gathering of data.
Those emails could include sensitive information not intended for publication, like sources passing on private tips or whistleblowers providing government documents.
And all of that is subject to whether or not it's going through the Missouri University computer system, which is greatly troubling because these reporters have First Amendment rights.
Manicky questioned whether Schmidt's search was a fishing expedition intended to make a political point during his campaign for the U.S. Senate.
It creates a presumption that he thinks this is something that state government has an interest in, whereas if he had done this through his campaign committee, it would have a whole different tone.
It remains unclear what Schmidt is after, but a spokesman for his office told the Associated Press he was, quote, simply trying to get to the bottom of the fact-checking process.
That's a mechanism of the government trying to limit what anyone, whether it's a newspaper or any individual, has a right to say in speech.
The job of Attorney General is a big one with a lot of discretion. It oversees a criminal and civil division, represents state agencies, and defends state laws in court. And it can crack down on scammers, polluters, or corruption in political campaigns. Certainly every citizen is entitled to seek public records, but we asked his office, where does this search fall in your official duties as Attorney General? And at this hour, the Attorney General's office had no response.
And we know you'll stay on top of it. Thanks. Developing tonight, Franklin County officers looking for answers in a suspicious death investigation. They found a man named Hugh Campbell dead Friday afternoon at the same spot where he was cutting down trees. That was on Dry Branch Road in St. Clair, Missouri. There's not a lot in this area besides woods and a handful of homes. The autopsy results say Campbell died from being shot. There are no details on a suspect right now, but if you know anything, you can remain anonymous by calling the sheriff's office at 636-583-2560. Tonight in Hazelwood, officers are looking for a man they say killed his wife. Gregory Smith III is the suspect. Police say when they got to his home around 4:30 this morning, the woman was dead and 2 kids were inside. The home was also doused in gasoline. If you have any information about where he is, contact Hazelwood Police at 314-838-5000. Still to come, a break in the case of a missing young mother kidnapped during her morning jog.
It's just awful to see the evil that's in the world.
How common is it for the government to forgive large loans? Our Verify team digs into the critiques against the new student loan forgiveness plan.
This rain is helping us cool off in the 70s. I'll time out the possibility of more showers and thunder next.
Tonight in Memphis, a man is behind bars accused of kidnapping a young mother. Cleotha Abston is charged with aggravated kidnapping and tampering with evidence. 34-year-old Eliza Fletcher hasn't been seen since Friday morning. Her family has a $50,000 reward for information that leads to her safe return. Bed Bath & Beyond CFO is dead after falling from a skyscraper in Manhattan. The New York City Medical Examiner's Office is now investigating. It has not determined a cause of death yet. Gustavo Arnal's death comes days after the company announced it would close about 150 stores, as well as lay off 20% of its employees. Conversations about student debt cancellation have brought another form of loan forgiveness into the limelight. The Paycheck Protection Program gave out loans to businesses during the height of the pandemic, and most of them have been forgiven. Casey Decker with our Verify National team breaks down the data on how the two forms of forgiveness compare.
President Biden just announced a plan to cancel up to $20,000 in student debt for some people. When critics attacked the plan, the White House responded on Twitter by pointing out some of those critics had gotten even larger loans forgiven by the government. Those loans weren't student loans, they were Paycheck Protection Program loans. The PPP was created during the early stages of the pandemic to provide business owners with cash so they wouldn't have to lay off workers. According to the Treasury Department, as long as the loans were used to cover payroll, they could be, and often have been, forgiven. Recently, many people have claimed that the average forgiven PPP loan was much larger than the 10 to 20 grand in forgiveness that many students are now receiving. This tweet from Senator Bernie Sanders says the average amount of debt forgiveness to businesses was more than $95,000. So let's verify. Is the average amount forgiven for PPP loans greater than $20,000? Our sources, the Small Business Administration, the Department of Education, and the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee. That committee is a government agency tasked with tracking how pandemic relief funds get used. Out of a total 11.5 million PPP loans, more than 10 million were fully or partially forgiven. And the agency calculated that the average amount forgiven was $72,500. So where did Sanders get the 95,000 figure? Well, that was the average as of last year, when only about 4 million loans had been forgiven. Since then, millions of smaller loans have been processed, bringing the average down, according to the Small Business Administration. But when it comes to student loans, the max most people can get forgiven under Biden's plan is 20 grand. So even with the lower 72 grand figure for PPP loans, we can verify, yes, the average amount forgiven for PPP loans is greater than $20,000. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
So what would you like for us to verify? You can email us or message us on Facebook or Twitter. Well, not a great holiday weekend when it comes to the weather. Here's a look from downtown St. Louis of the rainfall from late this afternoon. And let's face it, folks will be cooking out tomorrow and they want to get outside, Jim. But the question is, will the rain join them?
I know. You know, I'm off tomorrow and going to the Cardinals game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We'll be dodging some more showers and even isolated thunder showers, too.
Got it.
So much more on that coming up. Look at Cuba, Missouri. We have video from Bill Dean with that rain that was coming down in his yard. And some of that, you know, on the heavy side, he says was light and brief. And that's exactly what we've had throughout the entire area today. Some areas very heavy rain and some lightning and thunder, and others just some lighter showers. So rainfall totals, let's look at those. St. Charles, about 1/4 of an inch. To Para, Missouri, 1.34 inches. Alton, about 71/100ths. Glendale, Missouri, 1.4. And Greenville, Illinois, 1.5. Look at this time lapse. This is Lambert. So at the airport, you can imagine why there's so many delays. Whether you get the low visibility with some fog in the morning hours, or you get those showers that move through occasionally and very low clouds that were with us all day. They tried to clear a little bit during the late afternoon and evening. And right now, downtown St. Louis, it is still very cloudy, maybe a little bit of clearing in spots. And we saw some lightning if you look toward the Illinois side. Couple flashes over the past couple of hours here, and so a couple thunder showers trying to develop out there. 75 for that high today with all the cloud cover. Stayed much cooler than the average of 85, and 69 for that low, which we're close to now, and almost a 1/2 inch of rain even at Lambert today. So right now in St. Louis, 71 degrees. So that humidity is way up there at 90%, dew point 68. It'll feel humid all day long and also tonight. So with the wet ground, some fog in some spots for sure, and 70s right now if you're headed out the door. So it's humid and warm. So not only in the mid and upper levels we have this area of low pressure, but also at the surface we have a front that moved through, and just all of that in combination just causing this spiraling mass of some humidity and moisture and some showers and storms. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. So look at this batch of rain headed right toward downtown St. Louis. So it's spinning around that area of low pressure. And so again, some of this has been downpours, but it seems to be lightning. But there was that lightning flash south of Highland, Illinois. Further west, also around not only Salem, Illinois, that big shower that just moved through there. Nothing severe, but definitely a good chance of seeing more of this tomorrow. Here's that futurecast that we're going to watch tomorrow afternoon. Maybe some flash flood warnings again for some, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. 10-day forecast that rain gets out of here by Thursday, even Wednesday in the afternoon. And it looks like some really nice weather until we get to Saturday again. Another chance of some rain.
Even more rain. All right, maybe a couple of days break though.
Yes.
Thank you, Jim. Well, still ahead, September deals. We explain why this is the best month to buy some big household items. Well, Labor Day is in 2 hours, and the seasonal shift from summer to fall is now here, and September is a great month for savings. As Consumer Reports found out, this month might be the perfect time to score a deal on a tech item that typically never leaves your side. Here's Mike Bush.
Although summer vacation is now in the rearview mirror, fear not, as you can take advantage of big deals in September. Consumer Reports tracks the prices of many of its top-tested products all year long, so it knows exactly when they go on deep discount. Here are top products to look out for in this month's best time to buy.
Thanks to Labor Day sales, the first half of the month, you're going to see some great discounts on large appliances like dishwashers, washers and dryers, and refrigerators.
This Whirlpool top freezer refrigerator is a CR Best Buy and is now on sale for $529 at Best Buy. CR says this is a great budget refrigerator that's one of the top performers in its tests for its size. And although you can finally use your air conditioner less, now is the perfect time to buy one as retailers begin to offload their summer products. This Frigidaire Window AC is now $249.99 online at Appliances Connection. CR says this window unit AC performs well for comfort and ease of use. And while the weather is still pleasant, tackle that leftover tree work you put off during the summer with a new chainsaw. This Ego battery-powered chainsaw is now $366.75 at Amazon. And finally, keep your eyes and ears open for smartphone savings later this month.
Apple typically announces their new iPhone in September. And while nothing is official just yet, signs are pointing toward that new phone being announced this month. Because of that, you can expect older model iPhones to start to drop in price at carriers and retailers alike.
The Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max is currently $1,099 at full price, but look for discounts and other offers as the month goes on and through the rest of the year. This is CR's top-rated smartphone with one of the longest battery lifespans of all current models it's tested, and it has an additional wide-angle and zoom camera. Have a great September. Mike Bush, 5 on your side.
All right, 5 on your side just wrapped up our annual MDA telethon at Grants Farm. And this year, we raised $458,000. This is for the Muscular Dystrophy Association, and those donations are still coming in. From all of us here at 5 on your side, thank you for your generosity. Everyone deserves to feel loved on their birthday. How you can help an 8-year-old feel extra special this year after he has had a rough track record with past birthdays. Well, when you're only 8 years old, birthday parties mean everything. So you can imagine how hard it was when little Austin didn't have anyone show up to his party last year. Austin's autistic and he's bullied at school. Well, he's turning 9 on September 14th in just 10 days. And this year, the family is asking total strangers to help him celebrate by sending birthday cards.
Every kid deserves to be loved, and he deserves to have friends show up. Maybe a few birthday cards, he would realize that there's other people out there who actually want to send him something, who actually care.
So if you would like to make Austin's birthday extra special this year, you can send birthday cards to 7830 Smith Farm Road. That's in Cumming, Georgia. That's it for 5 on your side at 10. Thanks for joining us, and start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Here's Frank Cusimano with Sports Plus.